friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you one of my favorite stitches, the waffle stitch. This one is so versatile. You can use it in hats and sweaters and blankets, and like today's sampler, a little washcloth scrubby. It uses the front post double crochet as well as regular double crochets to achieve this waffle lattice stitch look. So if you're interested in learning the waffle stitch in crochet, keep watching. For this project, you're going to need some yarn. I'm using this number 4 weight Bernat Handicrafter cotton in a variegated blue. You'll also need a crochet hook. I'll be using a 4mm hook today. You'll also need some scissors, as well as a yarn needle to weave in your ends. So gather your supplies and let's jump in. We're going to start with a slip knot. From here, we're going to want to create a chain in multiples of 3 with an additional 4 chain stitches at the end of that chain. So you want your stitches in multiples of 3 because that is the repetition of the pattern for the waffle stitch. So we're going to start with 19 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 17, 18, and 19. The reason we're doing 19 chains is as follows. We've got 15 chain stitches dedicated to our waffle stitch, and then an additional 4 stitches dedicated to our turning chain and our edge stitch. So we're going to be double crocheting in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're also going to be using that double crochet that we're putting in the 4th chain as the edge stitch for the work. You'll see what I mean after we do a couple of rows. So in the 4th chain from the hook, complete a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, insert the hook into the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. Now we have our turning chain here and our first double crochet. For the rest of the foundation chain row, we're going to do double crochet stitches 1 time in each chain all the way down. I'm going to zoom through the rest of this foundation row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row to show you what we're going to do to get into our waffle stitch. Here I am at the end of my chain row. I'm going to put my last double crochet in the last chain stitch there. Now we're going to start working with front post double crochets to create our waffle stitch. So for the first stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert the hook behind the entire post of the double crochet stitch. You can see when you pull the stitches apart, we can insert the hook down in through the work and then up through the next space. Yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. That is our front post double crochet. Next, we're going to do the next 2 double crochets as normal through the top of the stitch. So yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We'll do that through the next 2 stitches, just like that. In the next stitch, we're going to do another front post double crochet. And then the next 2 stitches, regular double crochets. And then in the following stitch, another front post double crochet. And then the next 2 stitches, regular double crochets. And we'll repeat that all the way across until we get to the end of row number 2. If you're brand new to crochet and you need extra help on how to do the double crochet stitch or the front post double crochet stitch, check out the top corner now. I'll link my tutorials for those 2 stitches so that you can practice and get a little bit more information on them before coming and mastering the waffle stitch. Here I am at the end of row number 2. I've just done a front post, 2 regular double crochets, and then the last stitch of the row is a front post double crochet. And then the chain 2 space, or the chain 3 rather, that we had at the end of our chain that we had to add. If you remember, we did sets of 3 plus an additional 4. So this is one of those 4, and then the other 3 make up the side chain. What we do to add a nice straight edge to our waffle stitch is 1 additional double crochet through that chain space. So we're just going to insert the hook into the chain space and create 1 final double crochet to make up the edge of the project. Then chain 2 and turn. Now, if I show you the front of the work, you can see at the beginning, we've got an edge stitch and then a front post, and at the end, we have a front post and then an edge stitch. So we've got a nice symmetrical project. So that's why we do the sets of 3 plus 4 at the beginning. All right, let's move on to row number 3. Row number 3, we're going to be doing something a little different. Instead of working front post, regular, regular, we're going to do regular double crochet for the first stitch. So here, we'll put a regular double crochet. And then in the next 2 stitches, we'll do front post double crochets. These front post double crochets are what used to be regular double crochets when working on the front side. So the front side is where the waffle is going to show up. So now we're working on the back side. We're going to do 2 front post double crochets in those spaces. After we do those 2 front post double crochets, we're going to do 1 regular double crochet. And on the reverse side, that used to be a front post. Now the next 2 stitches will be front post double crochets, followed by 1 regular double crochet. Then 2 front posts, then 1 regular, and we'll repeat that all the way across for row number 3. I'll zoom through the rest of row number 3 and I'll meet you at the end of the row to show you how we're going to finish the row off and how we're going to get into row number 4. Here I am at the end of row number 3. I just did 2 front post double crochets. Now I'm going to put in my last regular double crochet for that last stitch of the row, and then we have our chain 2 that we used to turn the row. In the space between that last double crochet and the chain 2 space, we're going to put 1 final additional double crochet as our edge stitch. Then we can chain 2, chain 1, chain 2, and turn the work. And we're already starting to see the waffle stitch pattern emerge. Now, row number 4 is going to be the exact same as row number 2. We'll start with a front post double crochet in the first stitch, followed by 2 regular double crochets in the next 2 stitches, followed by a front post double crochet, and then 2 regular double crochets, and then a front post, and then 2 regular, all the way across. From here on out, it's going to be a repeat of the exact same 2 rows. Row number 4 is going to be the same as row number 2, row number 5 will be the same as row number 3, row number 6 the same as row number 2, row number 7, the same as row number 3. Basically, all of our odd rows are going to be the same, and all of our even rows are going to be the same. And doing this is going to create this really sweet lattice pattern that looks like a waffle. So I'm going to zoom through a few more rows until our waffle is starting to show the waffle pattern, and then I will come back and show you what it's looking like and explain how we're going to continue forward on our little dish scrubby. Here is what it's looking like close to the finish line. I'm going to go for a 5 by 5 stitch, and right now I've got 4 by 5. How cute is that though? Gosh, I think this turned out so fun. Okay, I'm gonna finish up my row. I'm on a back row, so I'm going to do a regular double crochet to start, and then 2 front posts. There's 1, and there's 2, and then a regular, and then 2 front posts, and I'll repeat that all the way across. I'll see you at the end. Ta-da! And now we've made it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a 5 by 5 waffle. How cute is that? Gosh, I love this stitch. The texture is amazing. So now that we've got our waffle square, it's time to add a border to this so that it's a little bit more functional as a scrubby or a washcloth or a dishcloth or whatever we're going to use it for. So let's redo the last stitch of the row with a double crochet stitch, And then I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work around. By the way, this was 10 rows. Okay, so for this 11th row, which actually is going to be our border, we're going to start with double crochets in between all of these posts. So we're going to put 1 double crochet in between the first post, and then another double crochet in between the second one, and all the way down the row, 1 double crochet in each of the spaces between the posts until we reach the end of the row or the next corner. I've made it to the corner. In this corner stitch, I'm going to put 3 double crochet stitches. 1 double crochet for the last stitch of this row, a second double crochet to make up the corner diagonally, and then a third double crochet to work our first stitch of down the rows. So see, it helps turn the corner with our stitches. Now I'm going to put 2 stitches in each row all the way down. So I'll put 1 stitch in the top part of the double crochet stitch, and then 1 stitch in the big gappy space, and then 1 stitch in the top of the double crochet, and then 1 in the big gappy space. Double crochets are a tall stitch, so we need to do 2 double crochets in each first stitch of the row in order to make our way down with a nice flat edge. So I'll just make my way down like that until I reach the next corner. Here I am at the next corner. I put my last stitch in, and now I'm going to put 2 more stitches into that same space, 1 for the corner diagonal stitch, and then 1 that will represent our first stitch of the row going the other direction. Now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in the space between each double crochet down the row until I reach my 3rd corner. I made it to the corner again, and I put my last stitch in the space at the corner. Now I'll put 2 more double crochets into that same stitch for a total of 3 double crochets so that we can round that corner. And now working down the rows, I'll do the same thing I did on the other side, 2 double crochet stitches per row all the way down. So 1 double crochet in the big gappy space, and then a second double crochet in what would be the top of the stitch. And then next in the big gappy space, and so on and so forth until I get back to the beginning of the work where I started this double crochet round. So I'm going to zoom through the rest of this row, and I will see you when I get to the end of the round, and I'll show you what to do to finish off this dishcloth. All right, I've made it to the end of my row. I'll put my last double crochet in, and then in order to turn the corner, I'm going to put 1 additional double crochet in, and then I will slip stitch this round together at the chain 2 that I started the round with, just like that. And there we go, and then I can cut my yarn and weave in this final end. Ta-da! And just like that, we've got a nice mini washcloth, a stitch sampler for our waffle stitch. What do you think? This is one I think you really need to have in your stitch repertoire because of how cute it can be. I've made hats out of this, cowls, blankets. I've not made a sweater yet, but maybe that's something to do in the future. The texture is just so fun. It definitely has a front side and a back side. You can see the back side's much more flat, a lot less interesting texture going on, but the front side is very much reminiscent of a waffle. I love this one. Let me know what you think in the comments down below if you're going to be doing a waffle stitch scrubby as well, and if this one is one of your favorites like me, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone supporting the channel this month. Here is the list of channel supporters. If you would like to join this list of awesome people, check out all the links in the description box down below. Along with those links, you will also find other tutorials that I think might be helpful for you. Anyways, friends, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!